Hello, everyone. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm sorry, I'm just having a really bad hair day today, so I was just getting that in place. But good to see some of you all here as well as in the chat box. Shrish Harmony, Harvest, Yogeta, Vijayan, Durga, um, Dravya, Anbu and all of you. Glad to have all of you out here and welcome to the first training session for the upcoming Vikasa World School Model United Nations. So I know for a fact that many of you all are participating in an MUN probably for the first time. Some of you have participated before, and most of you are new. And I'm sorry in case in the chat box I got anyone's name wrong. I'm actually going just on your username, so it's I might make a mistake there. But nonetheless, I'm glad that you guys have joined. Today, I want to talk to you about the better part of the rules of procedure, and I also want to give you a little bit of motivation and give you an insight into what we expect you to do during the 3 days of the upcoming conference this weekend. So first things first, like I've even mentioned to you all in the orientations, it's not an exam. I don't want you guys to come with the mindset that, hey, you know what, I'm going to buy hard something, or I'm not going to speak, or I'm just going to sit. You all have chosen topics, right? I mean, I know you all found them interesting, and that's the reason you all have selected those topics to talk about. So I want you to not get into the technicalities too much, all right? To be very honest, I want you to be innovative in your thought processes. I want you all to be creative with your solutions. So there is no right or wrong answer. First and foremost, unlike an examination or your unit test, there is no right or wrong answer in MUN. The only wrong thing you could probably do in an MUN is not speak or not engage. So everything is a perspective, everything is an opinion. Like, let me give you an example. My favorite color is black. All right. On the other hand, Akshada's favorite color might be yellow, but that does not mean I am wrong and Akshada's right or I'm wrong, right? I mean, she has her own opinion, I have my own opinion, and that's what MUN's all about. It's all about our opinions. So there is not like a right or wrong answer when it comes to MUN. That is the first thing that I want to tell you. The next thing that I want to tell you is about the rules of procedure. You all must have received one document, right, called VWS MUN Rules of Procedure along with your allocations, right? So, first and foremost, again, this is not a question paper. These are basically guidelines. They are actually created not to, put a chain on you, but rather to help you use these different tools in talking, engaging, and, coming up with an interesting solution. So they are like guidelines. No one is going to put like a gun to your head and you could say, enforce you to, push these rules of procedure. It is basically to help you. It is basically like, a kind of a roadmap. You could say a kind of a journey on how your discussions will go. So what I am going to do in today's session, I'm going to share my screen with all of you over here, and I'm essentially going to be sharing the VWS MUN rules of procedure as a share screen as well. So you guys could also, how do you say, have a look at it while we discuss it. The three sessions that we're going to be doing, just to summarize, the first session will be the first half of the rules of procedure, which we will cover today. The second session will be the second half of the rules of procedure. And just how Calvin has a doubt, the third session will be only for doubts. That day, I will not explain anything or share any screen. You guys will ask me doubts in the chat box, and I will respond to each one of them. So, whatever doubts you have, you can note them down as we discussed today. Note them down and keep it. You can note it in your mobile phones or laptops, or you can note it on a piece of paper. And in our third doubt solving session is when essentially you could, how do you say, ask me those doubts. So what I'm going to do, as I had said, I'm just going to go about sharing my screen with all of you. Just a moment. Where is our document? And just in the chat box, if you could let me know, am I audible and visible clearly to everybody? Most importantly, can you all hear and see me clearly? All right, fantastic. Okay, I have also shared my screen with all of you. I'm just going to zoom in so it's a tad bit clearer. So yeah, so here we go. The rules of procedure. We're going to begin, of course, with the general rules of procedure. Really simple. I know sometimes when you read it, the words may be, a lot of jargons, but it's really simple. As I explain it to you, you'll kind of get an understanding about it at large. So your first rules of procedure, as you can see on your screen, is called delegate representation. What does this essentially mean? It means that each one of us, if you notice on your WhatsApp groups, you have given one country in a particular committee. So that is essentially what your delegate representation means. It means that everybody who's participating in this conference, each one of them are given a different country to represent, where you guys are the leaders of those countries, you guys are the voices of those countries, and because the United Nations is like an international democracy, just like our Indian Parliament, just like how we have a student council election, which is also a democracy, same way MUN is also democracy. So everybody will also have one vote on all the different voting matters as well. To summarize for you, delegate representation means I am Prashant, I am representing India in United Nations Security Council, and on all voting matters, I have one vote. Similarly, on the other hand, we've got Charvina. So she has one vote. She's also representing a country, and she is going to be discussing her topic. And she'll have a vote on all voting matters, just like me. Now, it doesn't matter you are a big country, small country, P5 country, or underdeveloped country. Every country is equal. In the eyes of MUN, all countries are equal. The next thing is communication languages. You see, sometimes what happens is we might, you know, be more comfortable speaking in our mother tongue from time to time. It's a very natural thing. Like, when you're speaking to some, maybe your parents, or maybe when you're speaking to friends, or maybe when you're going out, and, in general explanation, we do tend to speak in our mother tongue from time to time. Even in the actual United Nations, communication, like, language has never been a barrier, right? I mean, the Chinese and the French don't know English as well as the United States and England, right? So they speak in their own mother tongues, and it is translated for them in committee. Considering we are in Tamil Nadu and we are going to be all speaking Tamil, we will speak either in English or we will speak in Tamil. I would recommend to stick to English, but like I said, if you feel more comfortable in your mother tongue, there's absolutely no problem in that. There's, like, it's not like a negative marking or a bad thing to speak in the language of your choice. The idea is to communicate, the idea is to engage, and that's the reason, as per our second point in the rules of procedure, we will be recognizing both English as well as Tamil for your verbal and written communications. Coming to your third point, your electronic devices. Now, this is a very important point. Many of you all would remember that even in our orientations, I had mentioned bring your mobile phones, bring your laptops, bring your tablets, correct? Bring them with you, but use them for matters pertaining to the committee, for things which are part of your discussion. Like, there's no point of you coming to the conference, bringing your mobile phones and laptops, and playing PUBG or taking selfies and making Snapchats with filters. Like, I do the same thing. I'll be honest. I'm also from like same generation, same vibe. But there's a time and place for that. It's like we know you do it, but like we want you to do it as well. You want to take a couple of snaps in the opening ceremony. You want to take some pictures of your delegation when you're like coming in during your registration and lobbying. During the socials, you'll want to take some photos and put up some reels. That's absolutely fine. That's how our generation is, and we have no problem with that. But when we are in the formal discussions, when we are in the committee sessions, at that point of time, please use your electronic devices only and solely for matters pertaining to your agenda. Let me give you an example. We have shared with you study guides and research material as well, right? Every committee has their own guide where information about a topic is given. Like I had told you in the orientation, you don't need to by heart it. Your electronic device, have a copy of it on that. Your own research